KBON 101.1. We have a special guest in the studio. We'll be visiting with him in just a little bit. Right now, I'm gonna do a song that he put out back last year called "Can't Live Without You." It's on the radio right now with Gino Joubert on Louisiana Proud, KBON 101.1. Louisiana Proud, KBON 101.1. That is Gino Joubert right there. Can't live without you. And he's our special guest in studio this morning. Good morning, Gino. How are you?
Good morning, Big Al. I'm so happy to be here, and I appreciate you for letting me come spend the morning with you.
Well, I certainly appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to come down to Eunice and hang out a little bit. So let's get started and tell me a little bit about who is Gino?
Well, I'm still trying to figure that one out, but just a person who's really worked his whole life at becoming a better version of himself. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, I stepped away from music for a few years after I left Atlanta and came back home to Louisiana. But when I came back home, they say music never leaves you. That's a true story. So.
Yeah, it bites you, and then that bite never goes away. No matter how much you try to push it out, it always comes back. So Gino, you're coming from a very strong line of a musical background. Tell me about how your family has kind of passed that down from generation to generation.
Well, my dad was in a band called the Jokers, and they had a hit that went 13th on Billboard's Top 200. My dad went to high school, Jesuit in New Orleans, and his freshman class. So was Matt Rabernack, better known as Dr. John. And my dad was a very accomplished saxophone player, and when he saw Dr. John perform, it inspired him to say, oh, that's going to be us next year winning the Battle of the Bands. And they didn't even have a band. So that's how that happened.
So the musical gene has been in your soul since birth.
Correct.
Little did you know that as a little baby, but it was there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you write your songs as well. You're a songwriter.
Yes, I prefer to write, but there are a few songs out there of other people. I generally, if I do somebody else's song, I have to feel the song. I have to feel like as if I wrote it.
Mm-hmm. So when you do write a song, where do you find the inspiration? For example, this one we just played, "Can't Live Without You."
Because a lot of people would think I'm speaking of a woman. But in reality, I can't live without myself, because I had self-doubt for years. And how many people in America have that same condition and problem? Insecurities, feeling like they're not good enough, they can't do enough. Well, when I found myself, I was like, I can't live without that.
So then you knew that you were good enough and you were somebody.
Exactly.
I like it, man. I like it. So let's fast forward a year later from the time that song came out until now in 2022. We're looking back on this new song you have out called "Time for a Change," and I'm looking at the video and I'm finding that there's so much inspiration behind that song from everything our country has faced in the last 20 years.
Well, if you think about it, some people in history have quoted that if you want to change the course of a country, it only takes one generation. So think 20 years, okay? And how is that achieved? Through education. So you can shape and form the minds of young people to push them in a certain direction. And so I feel like we're at that point where all the Marxism and stuff that's been taught in this last generation, if we don't make a U-turn somewhere, we could really be in a major pitfall here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the song "Time for a Change." Where'd you cut that song? Who's the producer behind it? Where'd you cut it?
The producer is Jack Miele. Jack Miele is also a guitarist for the Molly Ringwalds. Okay. He has two studios, one in Covington, one in New Orleans, The Shed. I recorded the "Time for a Change" at The Shed, and also recorded the previous song that you just aired, "Can't Live Without You," in Covington.
Okay. And who's some of the guys that played on this show?
I had Allan Maxwell on bass. He also plays in a band called Sugar Shakers. I have Doug Belote on drums, and I also got Durga McBroom from Pink Floyd to do backing vocals.
Oh wow, man! You got some big hitters on this one right here.
Well, I learned a long time ago. You know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So what I did was I looked for musicians that, after carefully listening to their style, their intonation, the way they express themselves, when I heard the song in my head, I said, okay, this person's going to fit. Oh, she's definitely going to fit. He's going to fit. And I just put all the pieces together.
I like it. So can we make the world debut right now?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out and coming back with Gino Joubert and his brand new single, "Time for a Change." Stick around. That's next on KBON 101.1.
You know how